What do Ted Cruz, AOC, and Donald Trump Jr. have in common? In this video, we're going to cover the events of this past week that are having a profound impact on the stock market and potentially the rest of the economy. So let's go ahead and jump in. If you're new to this channel, my name is Chris, and on this channel we discuss emergency preparedness, aka prepping. What I try to do on this channel is discuss potential threats that are on the horizon to help individuals make decisions to insulate themselves, prepare for what may be coming next. And if you've been following the events that have been playing out in the last week on the news, you probably heard a lot about GameStop, AMC, their stocks going up. You've probably heard about a subreddit called Wall Street Bets. And all of this combined, you may ask, well, how does this impact me? And as I begin at the beginning of the video to talk about, AOC, Donald Trump Jr., and Ted Cruz, how are those three individuals related, at all? Well, here's what's happening. A lot of individuals like those three are coming forward and expressing, grave concern about what has been playing out over this last week. If you haven't been following the news, again, I brought up the GameStop, AMC stock. And let me try to give you just kind of a quick summary so you can at least get caught up to speed. And I'll just be honest with you, I'm not a day trader. I do invest in long-term investments, but I'm not a day trader by any stretch of the imagination. And I've spent time studying all this situation, what's happening, and it is very concerning, I'll put it that way. And it does have an impact on us, and it exposes a lot of things that we all know happens in our daily lives, that things are, in a sense, well, they are stacked against us, especially when it comes to the wealthy and the elite. After the events of this week, it's about as clear as day what's going on. You've got a hedge fund that came in a while back, and they were looking for stock to short. What they do is they look at stock that they recognize is kind of on the downward trend. It's probably not going to do well. They take a position in it. It's a risk, but they take a position. And they say, look, within a certain time period, that stock will go down. Now, on the flip side, you can go against that. You can basically bet against them. And what happened is a group of individuals on Wall Street Bets. It's a subreddit. If you don't know what Reddit is, Reddit's a website that has communities called subreddit, and people can get together within these communities and discuss different things like prepping. This individual on the subreddit identified that this hedge fund was way overextending themselves. They were getting extremely greedy on the stock. They were essentially putting in, I think, about 140% bid, which over 100% of that, stock saying, yeah, this thing is going to tank, and we know it. And so what happened is he, along with others, and this is totally legal what they did, by the way, they got together and they said, look, we are going to put a bid against them so that if it does go up instead of down, we get to be paid the difference. In other words, if they come in and they say, look, we're going to pump a bunch of money, everybody within the community puts in $1,000, that will drive the price of the stock up. So what will happen is that hedge fund, thinking it was going to go down, it now goes the other way, it goes up. So down, they have to pay the difference to basically cover their bets. And again, I'm probably glossing over a lot of details and I apologize, but we'll talk about why this is important. So they took this approach, these individuals on Wall Street Bets. They all got together using an app like Robinhood and other apps to put their bet or, to invest in this stock. So it started driving the price up. At the last time they're recording this video, or the time they're recording this video, I think it's up to $350. And so what happened is these hedge fund managers are now in this incredible upside down position where they're having to pay out a lot of money to cover this upward swing. So again, at the time of recording this video, I think it was about $75 billion that they were upside down. Well, what do you think is going to happen? They start freaking out and they start making phone calls, and a lot of people get very angry, a lot of wealthy people, powerful people. And again, nothing that was done by these retail investors, people like me and you, was illegal whatsoever. These were just individuals that decided to take a counter risk against this other group that was taking a risk on it going down. Again, 100% legal. They just happened to do it as a group, which is exactly what hedge funds do. Okay, I'm sorry, I don't mean to go on a tangent. But the downside of all this, and the problem that's problematic, is that the app Robinhood, which again, ironically, Robinhood is a character that would steal from the rich to give to the poor. Robinhood came in, and after getting a lot of phone calls and a lot of, I'll talk about this a little more in a second, influence, they shut the app down, preventing the retailers from purchasing any more of this stock. So what it did is it put them all of a sudden at a huge disadvantage. And it gave time to the hedge funds to try to pull out of their position so they wouldn't get burned so badly. Well, clearly that's a problem. It's a clear example of market manipulation. When the rich are put in an upside down position, it's the poor who are guilty and who are responsible. You've been hearing these calls to action to, hey, we've got to get, different laws and restrictions, and this needs to be stopped. You've probably seen these billionaires go on CNBC and other channels, cry all these crocodile tears, and basically expose themselves to what they're doing. They're manipulating the market in their favor. When it works against them, it's clearly manipulation. It's not, it's something's wrong, right? For those of us that lived through the 2008 market crash, we saw firsthand how the ultra wealthy got bailed out. And at the end of the day, you and I, we got stuck with the taxpayers. It's kind of like this. In our country, when the poor people lose money, they're being irresponsible. But when rich people lose money, the poor people, they're responsible for it. So here's the problem in all this. Robinhood, the app where you can go and buy these stocks, they're actually owned by, or partially owned by, the hedge fund company Citadel. Citadel is an investor in Melvin Capital. Melvin Capital is the one that got run over by Wall Street bets. So Citadel is one of Robinhood's biggest customers. You see the problem with all this? This large investment firm, they also have ownership over this hedge fund, Melvin Capital, that got overrun. And so they came over here and shut down the app that's causing this overrun from retail investors like you and I. If that's not a major conflict of interest, if that's not highly, just straight up manipulation, I don't know what is. It's pretty awesome. I'll post a link in the cards above. Chris Cuomo on CNN, he interviewed the Robinhood CEO. I would encourage you to take a second to watch that. This Robinhood CEO straight up gets called out by Chris, and he just has to sit there and squirm his seat because he can't give an honest answer. And I didn't know this, but Chris from CNN, he actually used to be an investor. And so he's able to point out all these things that he's doing that are illegal, and the CEO can't answer. He just keeps going to this loop of repeating all these marketing talking points. Total BS. But again, he gets caught. Also, there was a Discord channel for Wall Street bets. It got shut down. And again, there was all these lame reasons like, there's too much cursing and other stuff happening. But you can see, the point I'm trying to make is you can see these large scale elite manipulations that are happening in real time. Again, if that doesn't boil your blood, if that doesn't fire you up, I don't know what will. After having explained all this, again, I'm pretty upset, I'm pretty livid, because I know at the end of the day, just like in '08, there probably won't be any justice. There'll probably be a slap on the wrist to Robinhood and these other individuals that clearly are doing illegal activities to stack the cards against you and I. And they realize at the end of the day that it's more advantageous to take a $30-40 million slap on the wrist than it is to lose billions of dollars. And they know that they can do this over and over and nobody's gonna be able to stop them. So what do you do in this scenario? Well, I think this community knows what many people are beginning to realize more and more is that, look, the system is rigged against us. And I don't mean that in a cynical way, like everything's just horrible and there's no way to survive in this day and age. But if you don't understand that going in, it makes it hard for you to move forward. And look, I'm not taking or advising people to take any major financial decisions. I'm not making any radical changes, like dumping my, 401k or my Roth IRA. I'm gonna leave those parked. Again, I realize what the game is, and I still invest at those at a legal level for tax write-offs. So many of us are doing the right thing. We're trying to be honest, we're trying to work hard, we're trying to save, we're trying to take care of our family, but over and over and over, it feels like the system is stacked against us. What am I personally doing? Well, I'll share some things I'm doing. And again, by no means is this financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, but these are things I'm doing. I'll just be honest with you and I'll share my own personal approach. First of all, and I would advise you to do this, I'd encourage you to educate yourself. I would encourage you to invest in learning. Some of the things that I've been doing, I've been investing in myself, trying to understand the system, not so that I can change it, but so I understand how it works and more or less play the game so I'm not, putting myself in a position where I can, be taken advantage of over and over and over. And this one I'm kind of hesitant to bring up, but I'm going to anyway because I have mentioned it in prior videos. But I did a video recently talking about cryptocurrency, Bitcoin. I'll post a link to the video above, and if you want to check that out, you're more than welcome to. I am taking a position in crypto. I just do not trust the centralized banks anymore. The current fiat system that we operate in, the dollar, whatever country you're in, that's regulated by some centralized bank. I personally love this decentralized approach where we all have control. We all essentially are owners of our own, money, that nobody can take that away from us. I know a lot of people are going to get mad in the comment section, bring up EMPs and other things. Again, I understand that about this community, but again, I'm just sharing some of my own personal approaches. Precious metals, for those that look at crypto and they're saying, I'll pass. I think precious metals is a smart approach, especially silver. Again, this doesn't mean go run out and buy a bunch of silver, but personally, I am going to be adding more to my collection here soon. I brought this up in previous videos. I'm still scouting out land. It's kind of hard in the area that I live in because we're seeing just land keep going up and up and up, and it's becoming more and more rare. But in saying all that, it can be easy to get discouraged, but what I'm doing, and I'll be sharing a lot over the next few weeks on this channel, is focusing and encouraging you to develop your skills. I've got the side of my yard set up. I'm going to start putting in gardens, rain harvesting, chickens. I'm going to be doing a lot of these things. I'll be talking about it next week, what my plans are. So, look for that. But look, here's the situation we're in right now. We're probably going to see a major shift in the market, I believe, in this year. We're going to see, and we have seen, people waking up to the reality that we live in a very fixed economy. Now, whether people make a decision to make a radical change or to move off, that will be, yet to be seen. But I think, the blinders are coming off people's eyes more and more to understand how this market works and how it's manipulated. I'd be curious to hear your thoughts, your feedback. If you're taking any action, post that in the comments section below. Again, I share with you some personal things, and I try to avoid giving you my own approaches because I don't want you to take that as advice as, oh, city prepping, Chris said go do X, Y, and Z. It's just what I'm doing, and I've taken some calculated risk. I think I know what I'm doing. Time will tell, right? But all in all, I don't feel comfortable continuing to be pegged to the dollar, to this fiat currency. I see so many problems with that. I don't know. Love to hear your thoughts and feedback in the comments section below. As always, stay safe out there.